ready.
You're listening to Popcorn and Politics. What's the Real Deal? Hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney and Derek J. Wilson. Asking the hard-hitting questions you want answers to from political leaders and political hopefuls from around the world.
Good afternoon. Hey, why you look like that? You never look like that. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on here? Bam. There we go. I was trying to. I have to make sure that popcorn, that PP is in there. So, hi everybody. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. So happy to be here with you today. Happy Resurrection Day. All of that good stuff. Listen, I know some of y'all probably just not getting out of church, and I'm trying to get to dinner. So, but we're gonna listen. We had to come. And I said to Derek, we're gonna do the show on Easter. And apparently we were, because here we are. Got a great guest with you today. We didn't even get a chance to talk about politics. Like we normally try to talk about what's happening, but I don't even know what's happening outside of Ryan being here with us today. I have no idea what's going on in the world of politics today because I have not even looked. How about you?
I checked out some couple of things, which might be old now. Warnock set another fundraising record. He ended the quarter with $25.6 million in the bank.
What?
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business. 25.6 million. I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, so he's kicking butt, taking names. This past week, you had Governor Kemp signed the bill allowing concealed carry handguns without a license.
Shaking my head.
That was a big one that happened this week. He also signed a bill protecting farmers from lawsuits filed by neighbors, whatever that means.
I have no idea what that means. What does that mean? I wonder.
I don't
You
know.
are on my land. You are on my land. Maybe they had an
Yeah,
easement where they couldn't use each other's land or something like that. I don't know.
right. So, then that's about it. Just a couple of those two. Well, the real the big news was the signing of that bill to make the concealed carry without a license. So I guess that means I guess people still with a felony or whatever, they still can't have a weapon, but I guess that's required on the
Who's
people
gonna know they got a record? If there's no permit needed, if you go out and buy a gun, who's gonna know the felon got a who's gonna know that?
I guess you're supposed to buy it from a reputable place, and then they supposed to do a background check. But I mean, private sales. If I'm buying a gun from Jerome up the street, Jerome ain't gonna do no background check. So
but here's the thing: even if the store did the background check, I go into a store. We talk about this, and I hate to talk about it again, but I go into a store, I buy a gun, they do a background check on me. I check out clean, and I come home and I give the gun to JoJo, who has a record. Now JoJo ain't clean, but I'm clean. But JoJo can walk and carry the gun because he don't need a permit.
Well, if JoJo get caught with that gun, you and JoJo both federally would go to jail.
Well, JoJo used to go into jail, so I guess all right.
Yeah, but that's about it on Georgia news. Nothing nationally. Biden has done something to lower gas prices and inflation. I remember seeing that.
When did that take place? Because it wasn't lowered yesterday. Because I went and bought gas, so maybe it's going to take place tomorrow. Maybe
they're releasing 1 million barrels of oil a day for the next, I think, 6 months.
Yeah, so taking this time. You got to be patient.
I'm cool. Cool. Listen,
oddly enough, people not talking about it, but Russia and Ukraine is still at war. I know Russia is definitely surprised this lasting this long. So that just shows the tenacity of the Ukrainian people. I mean, Russia thought they were gonna go in there and slap them around a couple of times and it'd be over with. If not a couple of days, a couple of hours, a couple of days. So it's going on 2 months now, 3 months. It started in February. So
it's sad. So we got a LinkedIn user that says Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too. We can't see your name, but thank you for wishing us a Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you as well.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
so we can jump into Mr. Cox, the one and only Ryan Cox, that's running for the new State House District 111. Welcome.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm happy
Welcome.
to
You're
be here.
welcome. Welcome. So Ryan owns a nonprofit called Gwinnett Chat, which is doing an amazing thing with some youth here in Gwinnett County. But now he wants to jump into the world of politics. Why? That's all. That's the question I always ask. Because I talk to a lot of you guys and some of you behind the scenes, y'all don't know. They be like, Lord have mercy. So I'm asking you the same question. Why?
It's funny that you say why, because my whole thing was why not me?
Mm.
Um, so I never intended on running. I was recruited a couple years ago to run, and I decided not to. And I told my wife that I would never try to run again. But I was waiting the week of qualifying. I was looking on the Secretary of State site. I'm trying to see who was running. And so that week of, I didn't even know what district I was in because I was in District 104. And nothing on my voter registration page had been updated until that week of qualifying. Is when I saw it. And so my goal was, okay, let me see who's running. I'm going to jump behind this person and help them out however I can. So that week came by. Monday, I'm looking at the district and I see 111 and it's changed. I'm like, hold on, that's down in Stockbridge. What's going on? And so by Tuesday, they updated it. And then I saw that someone else had jumped into the race on the Republican side. And so I'm like, okay, there's nobody else jumping in. And then Wednesday comes around, there's still nobody in there. And then Thursday come, and then there's still nobody in there. And so I call my wife and I call a couple other people who I know that are running. And I was like, well, what do you think? I was like, I never ran before, but I don't want this seat to go unopposed. I was like, I wasn't planning on running, but I was like, if nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so that Thursday afternoon, like less than 24 hours to get the paperwork done and go down to the Capitol to fill out the paperwork. So I went down there the next morning and I got all the work done. I was like, well, if nobody else is going to do it, I'll throw my hat in there and see what happens. So that's part of the reason why I ran.
So are you ready, Ryan? Because from what I've been learning over the last probably 3 years now, it takes a lot to run a campaign. It takes a lot to be out there talking to people, and it takes even more so more effort when you're talking to people who don't even know you or like you. So are you ready for this race?
Yeah, when I started my nonprofit a few years ago, nobody knew who I was. I've been a chef for 20 years. And so I had just left working I was working in the college. I ran food services in college for the past 5 years. So I had gotten used to talking to a lot of the staff, the students and everything, and everybody knew me. I knew a bunch of people there. And so it was more where I'm used to talking to everybody anyway. I know people's stories. So when I started my nonprofit, it was easy. I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody, but I know how to talk to people. I can talk to anybody on any level. And so once between starting that and now running for politics over the 2 or 3 years, my network has it's just amazing how big my network has gotten since then. So to me, I look at it no difference from starting my nonprofit from scratch. I look at it the same thing with politics. Hey, you got, with the nonprofits, hey, here's my idea. This is what I want to do. Is this something that you're interested in? Is this something that you want to be a part of? And so I'm just taking that same mindset and bringing it over and into the political world. Hey, you don't know who I am? I'm going to introduce myself. Hey, is this something are you the type of person that want to support me? And so that's where it's been growing. I started canvassing last week, and I've had good results already. So I think
So
it's
so how many doors you done tackled already?
so. In the past week, I am just over 1,400 in the past week. So the thing about me, nobody's going to outwork me. That's my mentality. I've worked hard. and I don't mind getting out there. I mean, I've walked nearly 60 miles this week, knocking on doors with my canvassing. I mean, I'm doing about 6 to 7 miles every day. That's on top of doing my regular job, everything else. So yeah, it's nothing for me. I mean, if anything, I made a post on my social media pages that said the one benefit of being in a heavily gerrymandered district is the amount of exercising I'm getting, because I am walking a lot of hills, putting a lot of miles on every single day to try and
Get your name out there.
get my name out there and come up with my own strategy to come out and try to mitigate some of those things.
So
So
what
you
area?
knocked,
Oh,
uh-oh. Well, I was gonna say, so you knocked on a lot of doors. Well, ask your question first, because now that's gonna lead up to my question. Go ahead, Derek, because I was gonna ask the same question, but go ahead.
okay. So what area does your district cover?
So it's everywhere. It's mostly the two main areas is are Decula and Loganville. Those are the two biggest areas. It's mostly the Walton County side of Loganville, but it's portions of Decula, small portion of Auburn, a small portion of Bethlehem,
Mm.
Walnut Grove, even Conyers. Is a snippet of Conyers that's in there too. But the main areas is just Decula, Loganville.
So
So
does it go down to
so
Stockbridge? Because you mentioned
No,
Stockbridge.
no, that's where the district was. That's where
Oh, okay.
111 was.
Okay.
This is mostly the old 114 district.
Okay. Okay.
so you said that that area has been heavily gerrymandered. So you've knocked on a lot of doors,
Hmm.
and how has the reception been for people who do not vote along the party lines in which you represent?
Honestly, I literally just had this conversation yesterday, and I kid you not, every single person that I've managed to talk to have all agreed to vote for me. I went and spoke to one guy out in Auburn yesterday, and this guy was he's a Republican, and we started talking, and I was like, hey, we can find some common ground on some things. And so I started telling him where I stand on a few things, and we had probably a good 15-minute conversation. By the end of that conversation, not only did I agree that he agreed to support me, he's like, hey, you can put a sign in my yard too.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, I was able to convince him. And so 10 minutes after that, I met another young lady in the same neighborhood who I spoke with her, recent college grad. We had probably another 15-minute conversation. That she's like, hey, I like your platform. I like what you're about. Can I volunteer? I want to call my friends. I want to phone bake. I want to go canvas, whatever you need. Let me know. And she
Wow.
signed up on my website before I even finished like the next 3 or 4 houses that I went to.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So
So
that's
tell us
pretty
about your
cool.
platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
tell us about your platform.
So I would say if you want to pick an area, I can talk. I
I
can tell you
do.
about a specific area.
I I
Th-
I would like to talk about first the small business.
Well, there you
Okay.
go then. That's what I was gonna say. Look at there.
Yeah.
Well, small business, I'm a small business owner myself, so I know the pain. My thing with small businesses is we need to be able to, one, my biggest thing that I want to see a difference is getting rid of a lot of, and I speak more from a nonprofit side and what I see and what's one of my issues, and it can go to some small businesses as well, where you have a lot of money that's available out there. And what I see is the same people are getting the same money. And then there's a lot of no bid things that's been in place where we're taking competition, and it's not necessarily about who has the best product, who's the most efficient at doing something, who's the most qualified at this. It's who do I know in this position, and how can I'm going to use that to my benefit. So I want to see one of my biggest things on my platform. Let's get, even on the state level, let's get rid of a lot of no bid contracts. We need to be reviewing these things every year. We need to give other people shots at things, because a lot of times we know we're going into things and like, hey, we don't have a shot, because the same people are getting the same things all the time because they know somebody. and it's not necessarily based off the merits. And it's and even saying that, it's not even necessarily that that person isn't, or that company isn't doing a great job. It's just other companies aren't having a chance to compete. So that's one of the things I would like to see done with small businesses. Other things too, I would like to see a lot of our elected officials be more proactive, because what I see too, I see a lot of small businesses, and especially on the minority side, who are filling out things like when we had the PPP loan, the CARES Act money, things like that, and then their elected officials aren't being responsive. They're not coming to their needs and saying, "Hey, this is what's available out to you. Let me help you wherever I can." So I would like to see people that are already in office be more proactive rather than waiting on the people to come out to you. How about you go out and you meet those people where they are? So that's another one of the things I personally would like to see change.
Let me ask you a question, Ryan, because I don't know. To me, I feel like this is one of the things when I see other elected officials, I feel like a lot of them, they're doing a good job, but I feel like they could do a better job. But I feel like they're kind of protected and guarded because of the space that they're in, and they don't want people to look at them, or they have a reputation that they're trying to protect, or once they leave office, expand the brand, because they are brand at that point. So I feel like a lot of times that's why we don't get the information that we need, because it's like, well, because I've been on calls with people, and I know that there's money out there, and like you said, unless you in that circle, you don't know about that. So what's your game plan for that? Because they're guarded. I feel like they're guarded, most of them, and they have reputation to protect, and the reputation kind of, is more important sometimes than the things that should be shared with the general public, especially small businesses. So what's your plan for that? Because I feel like once you get in there, it's like, okay, all eyes are on you, and everybody's watching what you do, and then it kind of makes you put up a guard, and that's my personal opinion. But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, my opinion is we need to be reaching out to people like yourselves, people who have platforms. And what I see from a lot of people who are in office, they don't utilize their social media to that full advantage. And so not only can we get the message out through people who are already out into the community, but we need to be sharing that on our own pages. Like my whole thing is, one of the reasons that made me run is the frustration from what you're saying. Like my state representative, I've never seen this man, and I've been very politically active for a long time. I've never seen him. He's never held a town hall. He's never anywhere to be found in public. So I don't know if it's, I don't know if maybe just avoiding certain people or what that case is. But my thing is, I'm going to be partnering up with people who are in the community already, like how I'm already going out to the businesses and leaving my cards. Hey, let's do some town halls where people are already shopping, where they're already eating. Let's meet the people where they are, inform them about the things that are out there. And we got to do this stuff, and we can't do it like once every 3 or 4 months, or we can't just be doing the things where, oh, here's the click over here, where these 5 or 6 same elected officials are doing the same things and they're talking to each other. You got to get out into the community and meet the people where they are. And you got to announce these things long ahead of time. Like we can't put it up the day or two days ahead of time to let people know, oh, we have this. Oh, nobody showed up. That's your fault. And it's like, no. Let's get the message out to 5 to 10 platforms and let them spread it and let them know what we're going to be doing. And not only that, but also tell them this is what we're going to be discussing. We're going to have people there to help you on these issues as well.
You know how many times Derek and I have heard that same exact sentiment. Hey, we want your platform is important. We hear that all the time. But when it's time to support the platform so we can help get the word out, nobody steps up to the plate to do that. Nobody has yet to step up to the plate to support this show. And then I host a show 4 days a week live called Good Morning Gwinnett. Nobody has stepped up to the plate. And so I do what I do because I love it. But to me, it's like lip service. Oh, what you're doing is great. Then support it.
Yeah.
And I know you can, because I've been in conversations where I've been in a conversation with this person is not in our area, but I've heard him say that there is a media company out of DeKalb, and the DeKalb tax assessor's office support that media. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah.
So, but when you go to certain people, it's like, oh, we really can't do it. The county can't do anything. The person can't do it. So it's a lot of lip service. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
I
hear
know
what you're
exactly what
saying.
you
I
mean.
agree that this platform is powerful. But again, when it's time to support the platforms to help get the information out, there's no support. And I've talked to somebody and I said, listen, I hear about things the day of. Like if my schedule is planned out for the week, I can't attend something because I get on the news and talk about it on Good Morning Gwinnett the day of. So, I hope you win, and I hope you stay true to partnering with the community partners like myself and others who are out there sharing this information. And like Derek and I do every Sunday because it's Easter. We here talking to people right now.
Right,
Right.
right. You have my word. Y'all have my phone numbers. Hey, I'm the type of person like hold me accountable. Like I said, I run a nonprofit as well. I have a board meeting. We just had a board meeting last week. And there's my board members that will be like, hey, what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna and it's like they will hold me accountable. And it's just like to me, it's a part of growth. It's like I don't want to be in that bubble where it's like I'm feel like I'm got to where I need to be at and then forget about everybody else. Like I'm still feeling the pinch now. So I was like, I need help myself. So if anybody who knows me, they'll tell you like I try to be as much as possible a man of my word. And so you all have my number. I get in office, hold me accountable. If you got to put me on blast on social media and I'm not doing it, do it because I need the pressure to make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing.
I
So,
know.
oh no, you
Go
go.
ahead. No, go ahead. I wasn't gonna say no. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm still going through his platform. Uh, so as you're aware, the state of Georgia still use a system. I want to say it's dated back to 1983 or something for the education system.
Hmm.
Uh, and I know one of the fellow state reps was that was one of her issues she was tackling of trying to get that updated. I see that one of your issues on your website is investing in education. How would you uh, advocate in one updating that system because the way is, as we all know, the way it's set up is it's tied to the prisons and all that. So how do you see yourself advocating on behalf of the education system for all and not just for some?
And can
Well,
you
two things.
explain first what it? I'm sorry. Can you explain first when you say tied to the prison system? Explain that a little bit because I'm not sure I even understand that.
You're talking to me. Well,
Well,
when it's tied
either
to
one
the
of you.
the school to prison pipeline.
Mm,
So the system is allocate the funds. The way it's broken down that the funds are allocated to the school district, but it's also funds, or if I'm not mistaken, is allocated to the prison, the Georgia prison system. And so that, I mean, it's tied to the school to prison pipeline, basically.
mm.
And so that's all tied together in the budget.
In the same budget.
Yeah, actually,
That's
they're
nice.
putting more money into state prisons than they are into the education system
That's
in the
sad.
state
Wow,
of Georgia.
That's sad.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. Well, one of the things with education, and I had this conversation with the young lady I met yesterday. One of the biggest things that I would like to see is when it comes to especially like K through 12. One of my biggest things is let's stop tying it to property taxes because what happens is when you're in an area that has a higher income, your schools get better funded. And so it already puts you who already have more than the people who don't have as much. It puts you at a greater advantage already. So I would rather see the taxes. I mean, you could still pay into it, but let's make it go on to a state level and let that money be distributed out more evenly. So that way we're not keeping the haves and the have-nots on even on a basic level like that. Another thing that I would like to see as well, I would like to see at least technical community colleges, I would like to see those tuition free. And I would say, don't say we can't do it. Even Tennessee has already started doing it. So it can be done. And like, if there's a will, we can do it. And so that right there alone, you can start getting people certificates and associate's degrees and everything at little to no cost out of pocket. So if we found a way, we can do it. Another thing we got to do is stop defunding education all the time. We keep defunding it, and then we wait to an election year, and then we want to hand out bonuses and raises and things like that. But we'll defund it by a whole lot, and then we'll make people think, oh, we're going to give them a raise. It's like, well, you've been cutting the funding all of this time, and you're not even bringing it back up to where it was, because there's no reason that teachers should be having to come out of their own pockets for any supplies to do their jobs. I mean, that's, to me, it's just ridiculous.
Wow.
So we got to do something different about those type things right there. I mean, for me, that's where I would start at with education.
Right. And also, it shouldn't be no reason for teachers to have more than one job in order to
Exactly.
survive due to
Right.
this, their salary is so low,
Yeah,
So,
and that goes down to the whole defunding thing. It's like you keep cutting everything, and so you're trying to find it out on the back end. It's the same thing when a lot of times when the governor gives state employees raises, and then sometimes he doesn't fund those raises. So he'll put the money out there and say, "Oh, we're going to give every state employee this amount of money," but then he doesn't give those individual agencies the money in order to come out. And so now they're struggling behind the scenes, like, well, where are we going to come up with this money? Because they've already made these promises, but how are we going to find the money to do it? So
Well, he put it out there. Can't he be held accountable for putting it out there? He put it out there, so nobody's holding him accountable for keeping it.
well, if you run a state agency, are you going to risk losing your job calling out the governor to do it? So if you run a college or you run Department of Transportation or whatever it is, and you already have your budget, are you going to call him out? Because then he can just easily replace you for doing it.
with the stroke of a pen.
Right.
That's crazy. Again, playing politics with people's lives. I think that's nuts all the way around. And I hear that so much, even when it's time to go and do legislation. It's like, okay, so why didn't they sign off on this? What they did, but they wanted to be on the front. It's crazy. I don't even want to get into that. That's nuts. But I've heard so much about stuff like that. I like what you said about making technical schools free. And so the word tech was in this. So I had to, that kind of caught my attention for a second. There's a lot going on in the tech space right now. And there's a lot of programs out there and there's a lot of resources available. But I think that a lot of people are afraid of that. So when it comes to technology and where we're going, do you have any thoughts about that as a part of your educational plan, as far as putting programs into place for people, for people who may not want to go to school, people who are just coming out of being maybe incarcerated? Because there's so a lot of this stuff you can do from home. You don't have to go into someone's place of employment. They can do a lot of these things from home. So is there a plan to do anything in the tech space as far as education is concerned to train people up for these new jobs coming out and this new technology that we're about to bump into?
Yeah, and for me, I think it just goes back to where we can incentivize and people like employers already to do these continuous training classes and everything. So where people are already working, was not give them tax breaks to go do these trainings. So because it's going to impossible to just say, oh, we're going to send everybody to a technical college, because I mean, it's just not realistic. But if we can hire and where we already have the employers that are out there, and we can get, whether it be consultants or people from the small business world to come out and teach these classes, and we can give the company some money to help pay for this. I think that's one way to kind of to at least get that started. Another thing is just start teaching more of it in high schools, middle school and high schools. And so just properly funded and making sure that every student has has the tools to be able to do it. So I think the earlier you start, the better, honestly.
There is so I'm working on a program right now to partner with GECC, Greater East Side Chamber of Commerce, to support women in technology. and I had to do some pricing for some courses. And honestly, it's way less expensive than people may even think. Like right now, I just did a price point for 300 women to put them into tech, and it's around $107,000, and that would give them excellent careers in tech, anywhere from e-commerce and Shopify all the way up to augmented reality gaming and digital movie making. So it's so much money floating around Georgia, and we've heard this from Congresswoman Carolyn Bordeaux. We've heard that there's money out there. So $107,000 is pretty much nothing when there's $4 billion sitting over here in Georgia somewhere. How do you get access to that funding so you can create these type of programs in the education space? Is it hard to get access to that? Do you know how does that work? If
It's
you
hard.
know.
It goes back to what I'm saying, because that's the same issue I'm having with my own thing. It goes back to the same people getting the same money all the time, and so that this just ties back to what I was saying earlier. We got to support. We got to support real small businesses. Some businesses will claim they're small business, but then they're doing like 50, $60 million in revenue, or they're doing millions of dollars a year in revenue. And a lot of it comes from contracts and government grants and stuff like that. And it keeps coming back down to who you know. So we need to do more things where we're getting the word out, where we're letting small nonprofits, and not only that, our minority-owned business, we need to give them a shot. We anything. I'm not saying give it to people, but at least give us a shot to make our own changes in our communities. So that way we can be educating our communities ourselves, rather than trying to find out who has the money and then hoping that they come out and then they help us. So where that money's at, we have to put more pressure on whoever is in office, whether it be on a state level or if it be on a federal level. We got to let them know, hey, we helped get you elected. We need what are you doing for us? We can
Right.
do the same jobs that this money that is out here. Give us a shot so we can have our chance to be able to help our own communities instead of trying to find people to come in and do these things. So I'm a big proponent of that.
And you know what's crazy? The definition of a small business is a business that has fewer than 1,500 employees
Yeah.
and a maximum of $38.5 million in average annual receipts.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
can have 1,499 employees and make $38 million a year and still be classified as a small business.
Yeah,
Wow.
And that's who's getting all the money.
right.
Where the
Right.
actual small businesses, the mom and pops, they can't even, they barely keep their doors open and they can't qualify, or they don't even know about the funds available because the the other small businesses are getting all the money. $38 million is not small.
Yeah.
Right. It's
We
not. And I've been talking to people who are out here. People, I know some small business owners who own restaurants, and they tried to get PPP loans and they couldn't get that money. And they've written their Congress people and nothing's happened, or they won't return anything. And they're not, and it's like they're trying to get that first round of money. Well, meanwhile, you have some of these other so-called small businesses that got 3 and 4 rounds of money before that one business who really needs it can even get their first one. So
Right.
yeah, I've seen it
And
firsthand.
then you remember, you know, the Lakers, they got money. They gave it back. We're not going,
Mhm.
they gave it back. But the only reason why they gave it back is because of public outcry.
Right.
Like,
Ruth Chris got money
yeah,
too.
Ruth Chris, like all these big companies, like how are you getting these monies where you got, like that restaurant, that local restaurant that's struggling to keep their doors open and pay their employees, they can't get it, but yet you got the Lakers,
Hmm.
Ruth Chris. I mean, the Lakers is paying somebody over, $50 million a year.
Right.
One person.
Right.
So it's just amazing how how the system work, and we'll be grateful to have someone like you that understands the struggle of the small business world. And
right.
I don't know if you're aware, but Audrey is a dedicated board member of the Great East Side Chamber of Commerce. So, I always, go to her when it come down to business, because I'm just a regular old Joe with a podcast.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, right. Don't let Derek fool y'all with that nonsense. He owned like 12 businesses. He just didn't tell y'all.
okay,
I
we got a
own that.
question.
Got a comment. Yeah, got a question. What have you learned from working with young people that would be beneficial to your work in the state legislature? Good question.
Thank thank you, Miss Karen Scott Green, for Gwinnett Superior Court Judge.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Hi,
yes.
Karen. I would say it goes back to my tagline, which is bringing empathy back to government. So
Mhm.
that's what one thing about me. So in order to work with kids, so you got to be able to empathize, and I think that's the biggest problem that we have in government right now. And I think I can almost say from a broader aspect, kind of like society, where a lot of people don't care about something until it happens to them personally.
Yeah,
Hmm.
And so with me working with kids, I've learned, hey, I have to empathize with them. It's like I can't, like, yeah, I haven't been a teenager in over 20 years. And so seeing what their struggles are different from what we're struggling with. Like when I see like everything is so much technology based right now. And so like with them, I had to tell them, hey, get off your phone, live in the moment. And so what I'm trying to do is trying to bring that part of it and the work that I've done in the community with kids. I think it's an easy transition. So I think what overall what it's going to bring with me is the empathy. Is going to be my ability to care for somebody besides just myself. It's to know what their biggest issues are, and I see where we have issues where we're not addressing things from a root level. A lot of times, what we're seeing is we wait till there's a problem and then we address it. So
yeah,
my whole thing is let's get to the root of why things are happening and let's start fixing it before it becomes a problem. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm going to take away from that because like go back to my nonprofit work working with kids. A lot of people see, oh well, we have crime, we have this, and we have all of these issues and problems going on, and then people want to be reactive. Well, my thing is that's one of the reasons I started nonprofit. Hey, what's their problems? Let's figure out what their problems are right now. Let's put them on a track to get them to be more successful and be on a good successful path. Um, Before they become adults. So that's why with my program with the nonprofit, we introduce them to the business environment. We mentor them. We take them on college tours. We take them. We just went last night. I took three of the young men in my program. We went out to the Georgia Swarm game. It wasn't an educational thing. I was just like, hey, I have some extra tickets. Hey, is it something that you all want to do? And so I got three of them. They all said that they want to go and they want to do it. Like you'll be surprised working with kids how much work and how much they want to be busy and they want to be active in their communities. And so the longer they've worked with me, they've come out. We did MLK Day. We worked with Chef Hank from Let 'Em Eat, and we fed over 500 people that day. And some of the young men from my organization, they came out and volunteered. And so if you give them things, you give them activities and things to do to keep them busy, they're going to stay out of trouble. But you know, if they don't have anything to do, that's what's going to cause everything. That's what's
I
causing
think
it.
too. I think you running for this position and being around youth as much as you are, this gives them the opportunity to see what's possible for them. It gives them the opportunity to see that you know what I can make a difference, and I'm starting right where I am. I think that's pretty cool too. So kudos to you for that because I know kids are so impressionable. They watch what you do, they hear what you say, and you know that old saying, do what I do as I say, not as I do, right? They watch that stuff and they're gonna say, then
Mhm.
they'll call you out on it, but you ain't do it. Why should I
Right,
do it? And they will
right.
call you out. So I think the fact that you're in this position right now and you're running for this office gives them the opportunity to see what that looks like up close and personal. So I think that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
and this is a different generation. Back in our day, you made that comment, you got a hand in your face. You
Yeah,
know,
sure
and it
enough.
wasn't it wasn't a stop either. It was more.
Yeah.
so so yeah, that was the my mom made that comment. She said, that really ended in with her generation that do as I say and not as I do. But she say it really trickled down to my my generation, which I'm considered a millennial. But then our kids are like, yeah, no,
Right.
like
Straight up.
you can't tell me not to do something when you doing it.
Right.
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 I mean, so it kind of forces us, not kinda, it forces us parents to be to be examples.
Right. Right.
And I tell people all the time, you as a parent should be your child's first role model.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
uh, you know, because they looking at you, whether they admit it now. They are, oh yeah, my role model is this, and that. But I guarantee you, they looking at you. They
They
Mm-hmm.
looking,
do.
they
They
looking
do.
at you,
And
and
I give
it's those.
example.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
You
give
have
an
you.
example. So I have twin 9 year olds, and my son. Ever since my kids were born, I've been there like hands on from day one.
Yeah,
When my wife went back to work, I remember like, oh man, I need to go to the store and go do something. So it was me getting them dressed, putting them in it.
yeah,
Like my wife went back to work. Because I used to have a 1 day off during the week. And so I would be the one with twins, 4 months old, getting them dressed, taking them out to the store, still doing everything I do. And so I've been super active, super involved. And so my son started playing basketball and in a league, and they didn't have enough coaches. He was like, Dad, we practice all the time outside. You should be
yeah.
my coach. I want you to be my coach. And it's just like I didn't plan on coaching. I'm like, hey, I already paid my money. Why am I? Why am I
Right.
coaching?
I done
But
paid. Now I got a coach too.
yeah. But it was one of those things where it's like, well, okay, yeah, my son, he really looks up to me and he
Yeah,
sees me as an example. So when he asked me to do it, I was like, well, I can't say no if he's going to ask
yeah,
me. And same thing, like I go to city council meetings and things like that. And my son is like, I want to go to city council meetings. My
yeah.
son, he in third grade, he ran for class president. Like
Wow.
it's just like,
Yeah,
and I think he sees so much of the things that I do, and he takes so much after me. And it's like if I can leave this type of impression at him now at 9 years old, and
yeah.
I feel like I'm on the right track as him growing up as a young adult.
That was one of the greatest experiences I had when I ran for county commissioner. My son was with me pretty much everywhere I went, unless it was during school hours.
Hmm.
And he was with me so much that, he was no longer my son. He was my junior campaign manager.
Nice.
And it got to the point that if I showed up without him, where's Michael? Where's Michael? Like people was asking about him, and he met so many people. He enjoyed it. But even before then, I noticed the impact because I mean, just being totally honest, I didn't grow up with a father in my house, and so I noticed the impact of having a father 24/7. Just for simple things when my wife was like, well, this is getting real personal, but yeah, we had to go buy some boxers because Michael wants to wear boxers because his daddy wear boxers.
Hmm.
We had to go get some. I like black socks. Well, now all of a sudden, now I got to figure out which black socks are mine and which one are
Right.
his because I'm noticing. And that's just little minute things. And so obviously, as he gets older and as I do things, I mean, kids are watching, and
They are.
like my mom used to say when I was telling about these things is, more is caught than taught,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
and so it's just those moments that I enjoy as a father,
Hmm.
because like you say, the basketball thing for me, it was the socks and socks and the drawers,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, never really, you know, thought it was that serious,
Yeah.
that
They're
he
paying
looking at
attention.
that he looking at my socks,
Hmm.
and so but that made me feel some type of way, I
Yeah.
had a moment, and
Yeah.
so you know,
So,
good thing.
listen, I got to go to Easter dinner. I know
Yes,
we're having a good time, and but I want to I need to wrap it up, y'all. I'm sorry.
yeah, I
So,
have to go cook Easter dinner.
Uh,
oh, you late? We cooked
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
ah,
See, I don't do leftovers, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay, big dog.
sound
I
like
hear
my
you, big
wife.
dog. Don't do leftovers. All right then.
Oh
But
yeah. Now,
okay.
I think it's a mental thing because certain things like I can eat some gumbo leftover, but Not too much. I can just reheat and I'm okay with. So I'm about to go in
Yes,
there
it.
and
I'm
do
gonna do
some
two
do some.
days and that's it. The day is cooked and the day after that's it. I don't want no more after that. I'm gonna do it 2 days now. I will do 2 days, but after that, on the third day, it's like okay, I need a crab or
Man,
something like that.
I have a aunt that will. Oh yeah, it's still good.
Oh my God.
How long have you had this, man?
Yeah, yeah. If you got to smell it, it
Yeah,
might be
smell
past
it.
time.
Ketchup turning orange. I'm like,
So
you think
listen,
I'm gonna throw
Ryan,
this in the
how can
trash?
people get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, Ryan Cox for GA. You can donate. You can sign up to volunteer, anything like that. If you need to sign, things like that. Follow my social media, pretty much Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, those things. Just look for Ryan Cox for GA or for Georgia. It'll show up. Just that's the easiest way.
Well, we know you got your work cut out for you. Um, but it sounds like you're on a good starting path, and so we wish you a lot of luck in the primaries, and hopefully we'll see you in November. Coming in for the
Well,
final.
actually,
Well,
Hmm?
yeah,
you don't
I
have
don't
a
have a
primary.
primary opponent.
Yeah, so he
So,
is in November.
mhm.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, there
So
you have it then.
he's working now as if he does have a primary. That shows you
Exactly.
That's
how
why I thought he
dedicated
had
he is.
one. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. It's never too late to get started, in my opinion. I'm like, I need my name
well,
out there
never too
now.
early.
So yeah, too early. So that
Yeah,
way people can, like, every time I meet somebody and I talk to them, I say, hey, go tell 3 or 4 friends.
oh
So
yeah,
so the more I can get the word out now, because I have an uphill battle. So I got to get the word out early.
yeah. Well, at this rate, he's definitely can almost touch everybody in the district.
That's my goal.
About how
My
many
goal
people's
is
in
to
the district in your district? About how many people?
well, it's 60,000 people in a district.
Okay.
Or according to like Vote Builder and everything, I only have about 5,000 doors to touch. But because of the way that the district is drawn, I'm having to touch more. So I went into one subdivision. The one that I went into yesterday said there's only 4 doors in there. Well, it's a new subdivision,
Yeah,
and I'm
Oh,
like, oh no, I can't do that. So I went and knocked on every single door in the neighborhood.
yeah,
And so I'm like, that's what I'm gonna have to outwork. I gotta outwork and do more to catch up with the numbers.
right.
okay. Okay.
Well, we don't put all
Well,
your information out there. I
It,
hope that's fine with you. You got your
yeah, yeah, it
telephone
is.
number out there.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
Email, how to
yeah.
reach you on social media. You have any parting words before we get out of here?
No, I would just say, hey, I need all the help I can get. I'm running a grassroots campaign, so I'm trying to run as clean as possible. I'm trying to stay away from like certain lobbyists and big corporations. I'm out here trying to work for the people. So that's my message. I'm working for regular, everyday people. So if you want to get involved, you want to make a donation, just go to my website and see we can use all the help that we can get. I would really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank
I
you
would
so
like to
much.
make an
Go ahead.
announcement
Go ahead.
while we wrapping up. Uh, for those of you guys that live in Grayson, Loganville, and Snellville area and surrounding areas, the Greater Eastside Chamber of Commerce is having their monthly brunch April 26th at 11:30 a.m. at the Hampton Inn Suites in Snellville. The address is passing me right now, but it's the only one in Snellville. When I say we're gonna have some good food, we're gonna have some chicken and waffles, some
Shrimp and grit.
eggs, shrimp and grits. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So please, if you have not purchased your tickets, please visit our website at mygecc.org. Click on events and you can register to get your tickets. It's $30 for members and $40 for non-members. We're looking forward to seeing everyone there. Our guest speaker is Lolita Hampton, the founder of the Personified Group LLC. She's going to talk about it starts with a vision. So you don't want to miss that. Again, April 26th, 11:30 a.m. And that's just my little plug. I'm just doing what I was supposed to do.
Plug right on. Plug right on. Listen, y'all need to come on out. Listen, it starts with a vision. Do you have one? If not, come get one. Join us April 26th. All right. So listen,
and if you don't, I mean, just come for the food. I mean, chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits
for me. Listen, shrimp and grits. Derek said to me, I eat a lot of seafood. I do eat a lot of seafood. I love seafood. Shrimp and grits for me, y'all.
Eggs, bacon, chicken, sausage. I mean, it's a brunch, and we're gonna feed you well.
Okay.
So listen, join us April 26th, 11:30. Looking forward to you guys coming out. Bring your business card so you can network after Miss Lovely to give you the vision. Bring your business card so you can expand that vision. All right. Yes. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you all the luck in your race. If you want to come back, you got something you want to come back and update us on, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to bring you back.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for having me.
You're welcome. Listen, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Easter. We'll be back again next Sunday with another great guest. Same bat place, same bat time. Derek and I, maybe Derek dipped out on me one day, but hopefully he'll be here next week. Y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy your family. Until next time, my friends. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Popcorn in Politics, What's the Real Deal? Hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney and Derek J. Wilson. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your family and friends. To support the show, visit us on the web at www.popcorninpolitics.com. Connect with us on Facebook at Progressive Popcorn and on Instagram at Popcorn Politics Podcast.